This is how you're gonna keep your makeup on your face, even at a hot, sweaty festival like Coachella. My number one thing to use when I want my makeup to stay on my face is this Milk Makeup Primer. I just pat it into my T-zone and then I dry it to make sure that it fully sets. Milk Makeup Primer plus the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder, oh my gosh, match made in heaven. I just take the little spatula that comes with it and put some on my face, and then I use a brush to blend it out. And this alone makes my skin look so airbrushed and beautiful. Like, this is pretty much the only foundation that I ever use. For contour, I've really been loving the Contour Stain by Sashi Beauty. It's extremely pigmented though, so you have to be very careful with this. I have definitely messed up my contour by adding too much. Next, I use the Cheek Stain by Sashi Beauty in the shade I'm Hot. This is one of my absolute favorite blushes ever. To color correct, I use the Huda Beauty color corrector in the shade Mango. And while that's drying down, I decided to take a page out of Shelby Ann's book and use the Brow Boss by ColourPop for my brows. And then I blended out the color corrector with my brush. Then I took this time to use the Sashi Beauty lip liner stain in the shade Get Ready so that I would be done processing by the time I was done with my makeup. For concealer, I used the Haus Labs concealer. And at this point in my makeup, I always set with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray because I feel like it locks everything in. I always spray my Triangle Powder Puff with more setting spray before I blend out my concealer. And then I set it with the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur powder. And I do one eye at a time because my under eye is creased real bad. I actually just set my entire face with this powder. Now we gotta add more bronze in this bag, so I'm using the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. And then for blush, I'm using the Juvia's Place Dark Palette. This is like a really nice terracotta brown blush. I'm not really an eyeshadow girly, so I just use the NYX Buttermelt bronzer again as eyeshadow. And look, my brows are a little bit 2016-y. I use Wonder Brow. I use an angled brush in it, but I love how they turn out, and I've been doing them like this for years. And then my favorite part is highlighting. This is my Makeup by Mario highlighter. I've tried so many highlighters and I keep coming back to this one. It's my favorite. For mascara, I'm using the Fenty Beauty mascara. This is one of my favorite mascaras. And I also added some highlight on my lids as eyeshadow. A trick that I use to keep my falsies on all day is to actually put the eyelash glue on your eyelids and on the lash band, so it's basically like double glue. I don't see anyone talking about this, and please tell me if you're not supposed to do this, because why don't more people do it? Then I add some mascara on the bottom lashes, some highlights in my inner corners and my nose, and this is what it ends up looking like. But we still haven't done the most important step. I take my Charlotte Tilbury spray again and I just spray everywhere, and I always dry it with a fan because I feel like it just melts everything in better. And to make it truly last all day, I'll take the One Size setting spray and just spray it all over everywhere again. And this is what it ended up looking like. I have super oily skin, so the fact that this actually stays on my face is incredible. Sorry for the jump scare. I took off my wig before I did the wear test, but this was when I came home at like 2 a.m. Like I said, I have really oily skin, so my pores are kind of big, but this makeup lasted me for hours in the hot Coachella sun without melting off my face, so I stand by this makeup routine.